Guys, we got insurance registrations to talk about. We got an internal conversation leaked that was from top management that is super bullish. And at the end of this clip, we will also have NIO Seal talking about the new NT 3.0 5566, all in this one video. So smash that like button. First of all, we have insurance registrations to break down. Last week, from October 20th to October 26th, NIO's weekly insurance registrations once again broke above 10,000, reaching 10,300 total, plus a little bit more than that. Of that, NIO brand accounted for 4,300 plus insurance registrations. Of course, there's the ET5T limited edition Trong version also being delivered. Convo, 4,500. Of that, Convo L90, more than 3,000. Absolutely amazing. Firefly car, 1,500 plus. So this is also all very, very good for the second consecutive week exceeding 10,000 insurance registrations. And also, just a few days ago, the Convo L90 made an official announcement that they delivered over 30,000 units in 86 days, setting a new record for the fastest delivery of pure electric large SUV. The production capacity of the new ES8 continues to improve, and weekly sales of the Firefly have stabilized at 1,500, and customers still need to wait for that car, signaling extremely high demand. It is a historic moment, of course, for NIO to break above 10,000 for 2 consecutive weeks. And this shows that there is tremendous bullish momentum with NIO in terms of deliveries. The brand potential for all 3 brands have been released, and they're doing extremely well. So now let's move on to the leaked conversation. Now, investors will be super happy to see this leak conversation. This is from upper management, and he confirmed some very, very nice news. And first of all, he says, everybody is super busy. Nobody dares to even ask for a vacation or ask for a leave. And he also said that in Q1, there will actually be a production boost as well, which is very, very interesting. And then at the bottom, he actually said, this is really critical. This is what I've been talking about, how every extra car they deliver in Q4 is money saved because they have to subsidize for the tax increase in Q1. And he said they're trying their very best. Every extra car that they can deliver this year, the company saves 15,000 RMB, which is equivalent to about $2,300 US. So if they can deliver a car in December 31st instead of January 1st, then they can save 15,000 RMB. So you can imagine, when I've been talking about this hit to margins, I wasn't joking. You guys were calling me out and saying that I'm like bullshitting and stuff. Guys, on my channel, I don't bullshit, alright? I give you guys the raw truth, hard reality. Some things are really tough, and this is exactly it. They gotta pump out as many cars as they can. So of course, they are doing exactly that. And then in the second league convo, he said, we still need to really push hard for 2.5 months. And of course, the people at the delivery centers, they barely had any rest. They are working day in, day out from morning till night. They're working their butts off. They're super exhausted, but they're trying their best. Nobody dares to take a break. They have to work super, super hard. And this is, of course, to pump up those delivery numbers. And wow, absolutely amazing. So 2 things that we can confirm from this conversation is the fact that they're running at full capacity in terms of production, and also, well, they're still ramping up for the ES8. They're running at full capacity in production, but also delivery, full capacity in terms of delivery. They're trying their best. Nobody's taking a break. And also, in Q1, they're going to have a production boost as well. So that's going to be nice. That means we can expect even higher deliveries in Q1, possibly even exceeding Q4 deliveries, because of course Q1, they're subsidizing for the purchase tax. So there isn't going to be that much of an impact. Actually, no impact on the consumer side. But of course, NIO will take an impact. And this is, of course, important news number 2, and that impact is 15,000 per vehicle, 15,000 RMB, which is equivalent to $2,300 US per vehicle that NIO will have to sacrifice for subsidizing the purchase tax increase. So that is very important. You got to keep that in mind. Next up, we have an important information update for the NT 3.0 5566, ET5, ET5T, ES6, and EC6. These, of course, these cars used to make the bulk of NIO's deliveries, and they used to be the top sellers for NIO. Right now, of course, they're overshadowed by the Convo L90, the ES8, and of course the Firefly car. But these guys, 5566, used to be the sellers, the king of sales, basically. And then people asked him when can we expect the NT 3.0 version of the 5566? And of course he said there's no plans for it to come out in 2026 because they just released the 2025 version of the 5566. And they will come out in basically 2027. And what this means is there's no rush to bring the latest 900 volt versions of these cars. Right now, they're still on 400 volt, which he did mention, and he did say, yes, in terms of charging, it could be slower, but of course we have battery swap. And of course, you're missing a frunk. But in terms of seat comfort, in terms of the infotainment, in terms of the autonomous driving, you're getting a very similar experience to that of the NT 3.0 platform. So there's not that much difference. And actually, I would argue that this is actually a better buy because with this, you can swap in Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, and Gen 4, and Gen 5 swap stations, whereas the new ES8 can only swap in Gen 3 and Gen 4 and upcoming Gen 5 swap stations. So you have access to more swap stations with the current 400 volt architecture cars. But what this signals to investors is the fact that NIO has more tricks up their sleeves, because once they release the NT 3.0 version of this, they will sell like crazy, all right? This has always been the big volume driver. So when they release this car in 2027, start deliveries, then you will see the 5566 retake the crown as the best sellers in the NIO portfolio. And of course, looking at how sales are doing for the ES8, you can just simply imagine how high those deliveries will be for the 5566. It will absolutely shock everybody. So NIO's got a lot of tricks up their sleeves. And of course, in 2026, they have other cars lined up, the ES9 and the Convo L80, and then possibly a new version of Firefly car as well. So, definitely stay tuned for that. And also, of course, the ES7, the NT 3.0 ES7. So they're going to have a lot of strong vehicles in 2026. And then that's going to sustain deliveries and, of course, increase deliveries in 2026. In 2027, they have the ultimate hat trick, which is the NT 3.0 900 volt 556, ET5, ET5T, EC6, ES6. And that is going to just drive deliveries to a next echelon. It's going to be so high in terms of deliveries. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Now, you can check out the AI translated clip of NIO Seal talking about this. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.
It's a bit early to ask about the next version. There won't be one next year for sure. So let's stick with the current version. Does the Coldfire 66 offer good value? In what aspects? The stand and tripod are industry leading. The cockpit is also problem-free. It's still 400V, which is notable. Other 400V systems might charge slower, but with battery swap, 400V is fine for us. Many buy NIO for battery swapping alone. V or 900V doesn't matter much then. It might lack a clear selling point though.